people get real energetic and angry and upset when a character dies. Okay, let's look at storytelling. So, fiction character dies vicariously sad. Does anything come up when I put this? When a beloved fictional character dies, it can be devastating and leave a lasting impact. Here are some heartbreaking deaths in literature. Oh, interesting. I kind of like that. Oh, dude. I like I kind of like where this is going. I like how most of this is they're talking about literature. Does that hit harder for people for some reason? Okay, this is where I'm coming from. Uh this guys, this is almost like okay, I care about, you know, I go, "Oh, man, it feels bad, man." Okay, I'm going to give you a weird example. I don't know if it was the horror of it. I don't think it was actually like I really care for this character and I care that he died. But there's a obscure movie written by Cormac McCarthy starring Michael Fassbender, Javier Bardem, and what's her name? I think it's something about Mary Girl. And Brad Pitt's in it, and when he gets killed by this weird like gadget that almost belongs in a James Bond movie. God, it felt ugh. But I don't know if that was like caring about the character. It was just like horrifying. Uh, there's a it, there reaches a point when people are really caring about a character dying that it's like, you know what? Here's a story. You got character A and character B. Character A really is into religion and faith. Character B is really into empiricism and logic and is an atheist. Okay, they get into and the characterizations revolve around those traits. Okay, they get into a gunfight and maybe they kill each other. And maybe the people that are more religiously inclined and find character A more relatable feel a certain way. Maybe character B, uh, makes rational people that are into science feel a certain way, so they care or don't care. Uh, Here's the thing, though. I can write 5 pages about character A and how his walk with his faith helps him be altruistic. And even though he doesn't know what's going to happen tomorrow, he has faith that something's in control of his life and he's going to end up well. And what a tragedy is when he gets shot. But guys, this guy is real. It's interesting to think about, but guys, it's not real. Joel isn't real. I want to show you something. It's interesting. It's entertaining. You can maybe wax something off of it. You could take something from the message. Maybe it can edify you in certain themes that are universal. But to care, feel empathy or sympathy or sadness to a great extent, vigil. I want to show you something. And after I show you this, I really don't want to. What was the guy's name that got his head bashed in? The Asian American guy. I'm not getting. I had Chris Hardwick in it. It was during the Talking Dead, and there was like a candlelight vigil. What's this dude's name? Like Wesker. I'm. Oh, okay. What was the dude's name? Uh, Glenn, right? It was Glenn. Yeah. So where's the candlelight vigil? I watched it. Is this it? So like when he died, there was literally people lighting candles, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of them, and they were crying and weeping the passing of someone that does not exist. I mean, uh so in the real life realm that we all live in, whether we like it or not, in memoriam, right? Is this it? In the real world, like someone just got in real life, someone just got head trauma from a car accident. Okay, maybe the car will get recalled in the future, but unfortunately for whoever this hypothetical person is, it didn't get recalled in time for them. You gotta maybe they are a little vain about their face. Their face got smashed in, permanent scarring, and they got head trauma. This person's real. They're gonna have to deal with this every single, not day, not hour, every minute. They're gonna have to deal with this. That's tough because this is a real person. Now somehow in fan groups, it's somehow there's this. You know, people talk about parasocial with streamers and stuff. With the real parasocial stuff that is strange to me is when someone would care that this guy gets his head bashed in. He's not a real guy. There's a real guy though that got his head bashed in during that theoretical, well, I know, real theoretical oxymoron. Got his head bashed in through that car accident. He got a trauma. Look at this. Every day, uh, yearly car accident deaths. Okay. 42,000 people. 42,000 real people. Take one, take yourself, take your whole morning. You could probably talk a half hour about talking to people in your interpersonal circles, what you had for breakfast. You know, I had a little too much spam this morning. It's so salty, it makes me kind of feel sick. I went for a run despite my foot kind of aching. I had fun conversations with my significant other about our favorite video game. You could go on just for this morning. You know, individual lives matter. 42,000 people 3 years ago in a 1 year window. Kaput. No more thinking of spam. No more thinking of their favorite game. No more talking to their significant other. I mean, real life trauma is for real scary. Now, Glenn getting his head bashed in by a fictional character, getting their head bashed in by a fictional character, and you're lighting candles. You know what's funny? They're lighting candles, candlelight vigil. They're lighting candles and all this will be, oh my God, this person that's not real suffered and died. I bet you 5 miles away from this site, someone got in a car accident and is now a spinal dude. And they're not faking that. And we're really going to sit here and worry about Glenn when there's real life suffering. So I'm going to relate this to Joel. Joel dying. Let's see. Joel's death, Last of Us 2, which I think this game and TV, I'm getting the impression did a lot of salt farming. Joel dies in Abby's hands in The Last of Us 2, and then it made people hate that character. Guys, it's just a simple meditation on the karma of vengeance. It's like the original Kill Bill concept. So people wronged her, so then she comes after him, but then she killed someone who was a mom, and then the daughter witnessed her dead mother. She doesn't have a right to vengeance. It's just the it's just this universal theme of if you have eye for an eye, the whole world goes blind. Now, to people to experience actual visceral levels of upsetness with the story direction on a universal theme like that, are they actually combating the idea? Oh, are they coming from a place where they think, if I do it, it's okay, and there shouldn't be justice in my direction because I am the protag? Is that what it is? Joel dies in Abby's hands in The Last of Us 2 after being beaten to death with a golf club. Abby, a former Firefly, was angry that Joel killed her father, the lead surgeon experimenting on Ellie. The encounter resulted in Joel being shot, restrained, and beaten to death in front of Ellie with a golf club. It was slow, painful, and excruciating. And not real. Not real. The death sets off the entire motif of revenge, plays out throughout the game. Exactly. If anything, it's almost like a responsible, realistic approach to revenge. That shocking death in The Last of Us happened so early in the show because it happened that way in the game, okay? They keep I've noticed this a lot of narratives around The Last of Us 2 adaptation seem to forget it's an adaptation. Like they seem to make it like the showrunners decided on a plot line. They decided to make a faithful adaptation. Okay, you got to go back to the original. Okay, let's see what this says. You knew it was going to happen because of spoiler, but you didn't know it was going to happen so soon because you didn't get a specific spoiler. Okay. Uh, I think you have to actually hand it to the game to be unique that way. We're so used to things being overly formulaic and cookie cutter that it's actually really refreshing that they did something like the protag is gone early. It throws a curveball. It's very similar. I don't know if they're inspired by Game of Thrones, but if you look at the release of the Last of Us games, it wasn't that long ago Game of Thrones was meant something before they like turned into complete dog water overnight with the last seasons. Um, I wonder if they were kind of inspired. Oh, and even dude, it's funny. Speaking of that, Pascal was Viper in Game of Thrones, and he had a death that threw off one of my friends. He was exactly what I'm talking about. It was part of this group of people that gets genuinely upset when a fictional character gets killed. Yeah, dude. Oh my god. So one of my favorite things was the people Abraham fans being like, where's the support for Abraham, man? Dude, I care more about it. Abraham was way cooler, dude. But I mean that's coming from me. I like stuff like 90s action movies. So if you take this oh like overly done dramatic thing between him and his wife and she's pregnant and stuff, or Mr. Super Ginger Badass, I'm gonna take the latter. Yeah, yeah, isn't it weird? I feel like it's really weird. Now, I'm not sensing the same amount of cray cray over like Glenn than with Joel's death. But I remember when the game came out, there were plenty of people that were giga triggered by Joel dying. I like how people say, we need something new, we need something unique. And then you make the protag of season 1 die early season 2, and they go, why he die so early? You know what I mean? I wish copyright stuff wasn't so stringent. I would actually like to watch this. Let's see. He's just a pizza guy, dude. He's just a lowly, lowly pizza driver. Remember the 5 minutes where Steven Seagal was actually cool? And he was like, I'm just a lowly, lowly chef. And Under Siege, Glenn is just, I'm just a lowly, lowly pizza driver. Yeah, I find the relationship between people and fictional characters, the amount of emotions invested through almost a vicarious parasocial relationship with a fictional character to be a little alarming, considering I've noticed there could be a lot of stuff going on in real world news. I'm not going to get. So I don't want the channel to be going through the weeds on those subject matters necessarily. But we know there's a lot of human suffering going on. We just know that. I find that where people is the same people laughing at the human suffering IRL. Are they the same ones tearing up in their handkerchief over Pixel Man? I don't know. It's interesting to me when you have a character. Like it was interesting to me to have Joel have a surrogate daughter. And then, even though it could save humanity, the experimenting on her that could kill her puts him into a rage. It's almost like opening an old wound and he goes revenge mode and kills everybody. It's interesting. It's fun. It's fiction. He's not real. Okay. The Last of Us just killed off a major character today. Oh, God. You know you're going to get great reporting here. I see stuff like this and I'm almost going to fall asleep. Last of Us just killed off a major character. Why did Joel have to die? Why did he have to die? Like a. Why did he have to die? You know, Marvin? You know, when they shot Marvin in the face? Why did Vincent have to accidentally or purposefully, I've heard a theory, have to kill Marvin, dude? Marvin was just chilling in the back of the car. You know? Why did Marvin have to die? Stormtrooper number 67. I specifically remember him getting shot by Leia. I know it's Leia because she had the highest success rate of hits with the blaster. Uh, why did he have to die? Joel Miller from HBO's The Last of Us. We hardly knew E. Season 2. You know that crazy 88 guy that gets slashed in the face and he turns around and your POV is him screaming? Why do you have to die? Season 2 of the zombie apocalypse series, set 5 years after the last season, has devastating surprises in store of that beloved main character. He died, and badly. Oh, yeah, right for the lowest common denominator. He died, and badly. They wrote, and poorly. On Sunday night's episode, Joel, played by Pedro Pascal, died. Abby beat Joel to death, blaming him rightly. Yeah! For gunning down the rebel fireflies, including her father. For the cure, the plan was to use Ellie's brain, who remains immune to the fungus. But Joel had his reasons. Dude, I don't know what it is, guys. I feel like we're going into the cerebral toilet. I don't know what got us here. I don't know if the information age is like the fruit on the tree of good and evil. And it was like, hey, humanity, you'll have access to all information. Cool. Takes a bite of the apple. Is fixated with really crappy information and communication. Is that what's going on here? Okay. I mean, I don't want to like Okay, let's see. Last of Us 2, anger. Okay. Last of Us fans have a meltdown. Okay? Is that a twist? Is that a twist that he gets killed? Or is that unexpected surprise? A twist would be like Joel can never die because he has fungus strain 5. He's immortal. But no, he got killed anyway. What a twist. A character dying isn't a twist, right? Am I wrong? Pedro Pascal sure had bad luck. He sure had bad luck. Show his head looking like Glenn's. Doesn't he? Aha! First he had his head crushed into paste on Game of Thrones. Then it's caught way off guard. What is... I can't do the writing, dude. I can't. Let's get rid of some of this. So here's what I find weird about people and their vicariousness about this. So let's say you have concern or care or empathy. Let's say I don't know if I don't want to mischaracterize how empathy, concern, and sympathy work. But I want to imagine it's like a pool. Imagine you're playing like an RPG and you have a mana pool. And you got limited amount, right? And you got limited like areas that you can focus. You're a human being and you got this empathy pool. And let's say the homeless guy is like, oh God, he limps at you and he's groaning in pain. He's like, $5, please. Yes, I will buy booze, but the suffering is so great and I'm starting to get the shakes. Please, God, just a shot, man. Please, $5. And you're like, dude, you've done this to yourself, you sick a-hole. And you feel disgust and you feel good about yourself while you leave. Then you turn on the TV and this guy, this nice actor here whose career almost took off after the show, but not quite, but that's non sequitur to the point, gets his head bashed in and you're like, Glenn, oh man, what have you done, Negan? I can't forgive you. I'll never watch the show again. I have real tears in my eye. Dude, okay, so your mana pool, your empathy pool, okay? Health is red, magic is blue, empathy pool is green. You drained your mana pool on a man that doesn't exist, and you felt nothing with real human pain in your face. What's going on here? What is going on here? Guys, this is entertainment. This is fun. Uh oh shit, man. I'm not gonna actually I'm gonna show you something. Uh Walking Dead car chase. I'm not gonna play the thing, it'll get copyright. What's the one? Is this it? Oh yeah. Dude, there is a car chase that is so good. You know, this is entertainment. You know? This is the equivalent of going to this is so good, dude. Oh my god. So watch this off stream. So, dude, Wesker, you remember this chase scene? The music, dude, the music is so good. It's like throwback to to when like older horror. This is entertainment, man. You got the adrenaline. You got look at the shots. It feels I love that zoom in and then the door shut, dude. For a TV show, this was so freaking good. What is it with that shot? I love the shots of this. Look at that. It looks so like 70s, dude. And the music had like throwback aspects to it. Okay, Walking Dead is entertainment, guys. When this dude in the back of the truck gets killed, do we need a candlelight vigil? I mean, do we need a real mechanic after the motorcycle crash? Is someone looking for his wrench because he saw a mechanical decline in the motorcycle when it crashed? It ain't real, guys. The integrity of the motorcycle for driving is not the concern. Is this entertaining? Like the show when it was good. Worked so well. Dude. It would I wish I could play this because the music really did it justice. But oh yeah, laughing during it. Uh oh, are you thinking of the one where Negan threw the axe? Dude, look at that zoom in right there, dude. This is so good, man. Like when you got like Cowboys versus Indians, robbers versus police, cops versus robbers. You know, you got survivors going at each other in the zombie apocalypse. This is peak. This is peak. Now, I'm going back to what that's what this is. Now, to use what I call the empathy pool, your every individual has an empathy pool. To drain from that pool on this, guys, there's a real car that crashed somewhere out there, dude. Or to just shrug and say that's how the cookie crumbles. Meanwhile, we're shedding literal tears over characters like Joel. We care a lot about Joel dying because we care a lot about him. You mean the character. Meanwhile, I've noticed, I think it's even getting worse than it used to be. People are getting savage when it comes to their treatment and their appraisal of each other. I think it's getting more and more heartless. I think we're becoming less connected with ourselves, ironically, with the internet. And we're becoming more infatuated and with vicariously through fiction and parasocial. Guys, it's getting it's questionable. What's another version of that? When do people completely lose their bananas over people dying in fiction? Let me evaluate myself. I mean, is there any hypocrisy here? Do I really care about someone that died in a fiction? Sometimes I care that they killed them and they could have provided more material when they were like a high point in the show. I'll give you a good example. Wesker knows this one. Dokes. Dokes from Dexter. Now, I didn't feel like someone had died. I didn't have nightmares about my good friend dying. Like my brain was confused about whether he was real or not, which I'm getting the impression some people are. But I felt like he was so entertaining. He was so entertaining. Like like Proxy Samuel L. Jackson was in the show. And I love that he was always like haunting Dexter. And then when he died, it's like, oh, that's just the entertainment value went down for me. You know, it's not like a vicarious emotional response. It's almost like looking under the hood of a car, like, oh, you nerfed your engine. Okay, not a good idea. Let's say, do I go down that line of thought? The what would it be like like the like the problematic vicarious nature of people caring about fictional deaths versus a cold-hearted um apathy towards real life suffering. So all you got to do is check out the news and then look at people's reactions. I mean, it becomes a tragedy when it's like a celebrity that they've decided to put on a pedestal. But a lot of times, oh, there's the people going through some stuff, man. And it seems like half of the people are cheerleading it. Uh, well, I could hit my head over that for a while. Is there anything I can deliver on that more? I think if people were upset with season two because of Joel's death, just like they were with the game. So to me, it screams, "Oh wow, you did that thing. Let's keep going. I can't really predict what you do next." I like that. I don't like predictability. I don't. If you just had Joel become like one of the main characters for Scream, like Courtney Cox, you just see the plot armor, and when you see the plot armor in a show, you can't unsee the plot armor in a show. You know what I mean? I feel like plot armor is boring. I feel like when you nerf plot armor in a story and you could kill the protagonist of season one at the beginning of season two, I feel like it's more interesting. It makes it feel more like you don't know what's going to happen. It's more exciting. I think Game of Thrones really did a good job of that. And like I said, Game of Thrones is its worst enemy. Its last couple seasons, it was its worst enemy. Let's see. Any other examples of that? Yeah, I think anytime I get like an emotional response, for me personal, it's almost like the dread and the horror of death. I'll give you an example. Ralphie, he is a total unlikable D head. Ralphie from Sopranos killed. Like, so of course I'm not vicariously doing it, but the way this guy's death was like so humiliating, where his like hairpiece ran out. For as much money as he is, you think he could afford those Swedish hair plugs that everybody's talking about these days. But I guess the show's like a few years older than when the Swedish hair plugs became a trend. So like I found his death kind of miserable and haunting. But did I find was I like Ralphie just wanted to misuse women of the night? How could you do this, Tony? No. I find that's the most impactful for me when there's almost like a brutality or a helplessness from the person involved. So I can't get affected by deaths, but I never feel like it's a friend dying. I feel like Glenn from Walking Dead. I feel like um Joel from Last of Us. It's almost like a family member died. And I don't think I'm using hyperbole because, literal candlelight vigil for Glenn. Look at his acting, dude. So, James Gandolfini's acting. He kind of, just really quick, does he kind of have a slight De Niro esque? See his facial expression and stuff? There's almost a De Niro esqueness about him. I'm not saying ripped off or it's like obvious. I'm not. It's not like Christian Slater doing his Jack Nicholson impersonation or Kurt Russell doing his John Wayne impersonation. There's just like a slight De Niro ness in his facial expression. But that could be there's, different roads to the same city. It doesn't mean you you ripped off somebody else and there's path to get to the same city. Yeah, does anybody else see that? A little bit of De Niro-ness in his performance. Okay. Um, yeah, I can have deaths in fiction kind of bother me a little bit, but I don't know like loss of a family member. In fact, the way that some people are acting now, parasocial relationships with celebrities and vicarious experiences through characters, I feel like that mana pool that I was talking about, that empathy pool, is being reserved for parasocial relationships with celebrities or people online or politicians or any the public figure and not being used for real people. I don't know. It might be somehow our culture is using something that could be positive, which would be fiction and storytelling and kind of, unwinding from real life and having a break from it and turning it into what is good about us treating each other nicely or kindly or having empathy or love and compassion is turning it towards either strangers or fiction, which is kind of like a stranger that doesn't exist. Oh yeah, he gets him with the spray, right? Raid. Oh, so okay. Let me say.